This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today we're going to talk a bit about loyalty. Now, a couple of you guys have actually mentioned that you've heard me speak of the Enneagram as a personality type indicator. I've spoken to a couple of people last week. They've either contacted me going, what's this test? Or they've come up in conversation. Now, the Enneagram is just the model that we choose to use in my coaching circle for personal development, right? It's not just a matter of like using disc profiling or using, which is D-style personality type, or the Myers-Briggs, or the big five. They're called personality traits, which are, by the way, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion to introversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. So, that in itself is very powerful anyway, but these all describe personality traits. The Enneagram is very different in the sense that it actually gives a pathway away from the personality traits. It sees the personality traits as things that get in the way of our potential as opposed to being who we are. It's a completely different kind of conversation. So the Enneagram is actually spelled E-N-N-E-A gram. I'll put it back into the funk, not into the funk group, that's my gym, into the Mood Prep online group this week as well, just a test for people that want to do it. So if you are interested, then jump on Facebook and go into Mood Prep Online, and you'll see the post in there as well, but you have to actually go into the group. But either way, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the idea of loyalty is something that's pretty important to me, so I thought. And when doing the Enneagram test, the loyalist was actually, I think, my lowest score out of 9 different personality types, right? So the highest being the enthusiast, the challenger, and the helper being the top 3, and then the bottom one being the loyalist. And I'm like, hang on a sec, like I'm pretty loyal. I've had like mainly 2 jobs, really, besides one of them being my business. That one, 2 other jobs being at one place for when I was 15 to 21, and so on and so forth. And pulled apart this idea of what the loyalist meant. The mistake I did make was that I looked at the word and assumed what it meant from there anyway. But what it made me do, I think, is start to correlate my thoughts around what loyalty actually is. And where people mistake loyalty all the time, right? So this is what is really interesting, is that a lot of the people that are loyal to other people end up being disloyal to themselves. Because what they often do is that they'll be loyal at a place of work, or they'll be loyal to an individual, or they won't agree or won't like something. So, rather than saying anything or leaving because they're loyal, they're almost like they're not loyal to them for them. They're loyal to themselves so that they can attach their identity to the word of being loyal. It's like, I'm pretty loyal. And it's like, hang on a sec. What are you loyal for? And if you're loyal to a person, what are you not being loyal to? Because if we're loyal to something, we're not being loyal to something else, right? And so this is the thing. It's like there's always the other end, and it's duality. It's the beauty of it, is that we can't be something without being the other thing, right? We can't be somewhere without not being somewhere else. It's like understanding that allows us to see this idea of going, hang on a sec, if I'm being loyal to this person, is there something that I'm not saying? Right, and this is where I really encourage you, pull apart your fucking thoughts and look at the motives, and don't identify as your thoughts. Like, identify as the thing that sees the thoughts, right? Because then you can start to move away and not be like, oh, I think this, I feel that. It's like, yeah, those thoughts have occurred, okay, but let's look a little bit deeper behind the motives behind these thoughts, okay? I'm really loyal. Let's go with this one. I'm really loyal with someone, let's say an employer. It's like, but is it just because you're too lazy to go look for a new job, or that you're scared that you won't be able to find a better job, right? And where do those patterns come from? right? They to do with how you were brought up as a child, that you were never really good enough, so you may as well just settle. And that was a thing that your nan told your mum told you, and now you're doing it in work without realizing, but you know that loyalty is good, so maybe I'm just going to hide it as loyalty, right? This is the interesting thing, is that we can sit here and go, this person's that, or I am this, but we have to be able to look at the deeper meanings and deeper motives behind it, because if we don't, we're simply just cutting ourselves short. We're literally cutting short the vision of the truth. And I'm not saying this is always the case. Some people truly are loyal, and to people, but once again, then they're not being loyal to something else. I had a conversation with a friend of mine on the weekend, and he was saying he was challenged with his boss's current, I'm going to call them motivation techniques, right? And he hoped it got better. That's what he's saying. I hope it gets better. It's like, dude, like, when are you going to say something? It doesn't get better by itself. It never gets better by itself. And if it does, it's a fucking illusion, right? And what I pointed out to him, whether he took it on board or what he wants to do with it, is completely up to him. I'm not saying I'm right. But from my perspective, it was a very clear cut that he actually prioritized his boss's emotions and feelings over his own development, right? I'm not going to say something that I feel I should say because it's going to upset him. So I'm just not going to say it. I'm going to keep the peace externally to then, like, not be at peace at all, or be at war within myself, right? So I'm being loyal to him on the outside, but I'm being disloyal to myself and my values on the inside, and what I truly want, what I really want to do and develop. I mean, this is the idea, is that I keep on saying things like, you're not getting your 20s again, you're not getting your 30s again. This is what I'm fucking talking about. How much longer will you waste being loyal to a person and disloyal to your values before you feel like you need to make a decision to change your fucking life, and you're not going to get that time back that you're just sitting there being like, I'm disloyal. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe you are, but are you being disloyal to yourself? Because we are the only person we have to live with our whole life, and we need to learn to make sure we're listening to what's really important to us. That's not selfish, right? That's not selfish. I'll tell you what fucking selfish is. It's doing everything for everyone else, thinking that because you are, that they're somehow meant to love you, that they're somehow meant to speak highly of you. It's like, that's not how the world works. It doesn't mean you just look after yourself and fuck everyone else. That's not it. You look after yourself and you show other people how to look after themselves. And then collectively we're healthy, so we can take care of each other. If no one's healthy trying to take care of each other, then no one's healthy. It's not healthy doing that. So if you're going to look at loyalty, first ask yourself, what am I really being loyal to here? And don't point outwards for that answer, right? There's nothing out like, oh, I'm being loyal to that person. It's like, no. There's something going on inside for you, right? That person is a representation of something inside for you. So what's really going on? Are you concerned about what their parents will think? Are you concerned about what your old boss will see you jumping jobs again and be like, see, mate, I fucking told you never amount to anything? And whose voice does that sound like? Well, what do you know? It sounds like my stepdad's. And so on and so on and so forth. It's like, none of this stuff actually matters. That's the fucking beauty of it. This is your fucking life, and you know it. I don't mean to keep swearing here. It's just occurring. But that's the reality. And it's your choice what you want to do with this information. Stop being disloyal. Because if you can't be loyal to the most important person in your life, who the fuck can you be loyal to? Team, I'm out. Thank you very much for tuning in yet again. Thank you very much for those that shared the podcast as well on social media. It means a world to me. If I ever see you and you tag me, I'm always going to share it. I'm always going to say thank you. It really means a world to me that you guys listen in. So yeah, if you haven't already, like I said at the start of this podcast, jump on Facebook, go to Mood Prep Online. If you are a PT or a coach or a trainer and you're interested in doing some coaching, I'd love to have a chat with you. I love working with coaches and PTs. You can check it out about the Coaches Circle. You'll find that at davidnixon.com/memberships. Otherwise, I'm out. I'm going. I'll see you guys. Well, I won't see you. I'll see some of you tomorrow. Until then, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you guys soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unbound.